I have part 2 of my August wrap-up for you guys today. A lot of these books are, I'm not going to have a whole ton to say about them because I've either already filmed a review or they're like not the first in a series. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. For the most part, I don't talk about the books I read to my daughter, and there might be spoilers in this video. Need to notate that, okay. So the first book I read this past week was Good Me, Bad Me by Allie Land. This is, it's supposed to be a thriller, but I mean, it was kind of a thriller, but it wasn't.
Was it thrilling?
It wasn't what I expect from something called a thriller. It was good. The writing style was unique. This was for one of the Goodreads book clubs I'm in. I liked it, but it wasn't amazing. I gave it 3 stars, and I do have a full video review up for this one if you guys want to check that out. Then I do have one book that I read to my daughter that I wanted to talk about, and it's called We Don't Eat Our Classmates. I already returned it to the library, but this is what it looks like on Goodreads. Hopefully it's not glaring.
Bring it close.
Got it?
Yeah.
It is by Ryan T. Higgins.
And it's awesome.
It was recommended to her by our favorite librarian because she loves, our daughter River loves dinosaurs. This is one of the rare ones that I gave stars to. I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. River absolutely loved it. And I know she's 9 months old, but trust me, this kid has opinions about books as well as everything else. So if you have kids or you read stuff like that for work or whatever, definitely recommend that one. It's great. It's really cute. And then for another online book club, Goodreads book club, I read The Outsider by Stephen King. This one, I didn't realize until I got done with it that it was the 4th book in a series. It was okay. We'll see how it affects the first book in the series because I've got that ordered. This is like a tome. This thing's huge, but I managed to read it in a day because I stayed up until 2 a.m. reading it, and it was really good. I was kind of surprised once I got to about the middle of it, but it was really good. I've also done a full video book review on this too. Personally, I've stayed away from Stephen King for years because for the most part, I can't read horror books. I just don't sleep, and I like to sleep. But this wasn't a horror book. This was a thriller book. If you like mystery or thriller books, or this bit might be spoilery. I don't think it would be, but if you like the show Supernatural, I would read this. It was really good. It was definitely worth a read. I do have the first book in the series ordered, so I am looking forward to reading that. And then after I read that one, I was still in a thriller mood, so I picked up I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. And this one was a lot slower paced. And after this one, I'm not really in a slump, but there's just like, I really have a bunch of books I want to read, but nothing is just like pulling me in, you know? So I read this one. This was good. Like I said, it was slower paced. I had some guesses about the way things were going to go. And it's cut into a prologue and 2 chunks. And after the first chunk, the twisty bit happens. And I was kind of right with my guesses, but it was way more twisty to get to that conclusion than I thought it would be. But I ended up really enjoying this one. Oh, I forgot to say, I gave The Outsider 5 stars, and I gave this one 4 stars. So I did really end up enjoying this one. This was for another Goodreads book club I read.
So the Dinosaur Kids book was better than that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That book was really great.
I mean, this was still good, don't get me wrong. It just wasn't amazing. I filmed a full video book review of this. It has some technical glitches. It's horizontal, even though I filmed it It's vertical even though I filmed it horizontal. I don't know why. But other than that, it's totally watchable. It should be up by the time you're watching this. So I did enjoy this one. And then I hadn't really finished any other books this week. So I just, this evening, read this whole pile of graphic novels. And so those are the last few bits I have to talk about. So I have I have Lock and Key Volume 6, Alpha and Omega by Joe Hill. I gave this 5 stars. This is the last proper book in this series. I loved this series. The whole series has been 5 stars for me, including this book, obviously. It was just wonderful. The end pages show the parts of the house. And it just, I've loved this whole series. Let's see. Here's some of the art for this series. It's, I don't know, look up on Goodreads the first volume, but this is really good. I'm kind of sad that it's over, but they concluded the series really well. And there's one more book that's like, if it wasn't graphic novels and it was regular books, I would call it novellas. But they're like one-shot or single-off issues, not necessarily in the storyline, but about the same story type thing. So I've got that ordered from the library, but otherwise the series is over, and I'm sad, but I was happy with how they concluded it, and it was really good. I loved it. Then I read Sweet Tooth Volume 5, Unnatural Habitats, by Jeff Lemire. I gave this 4 stars. Here's some of the art for this one. I don't want to get too much into this because it is the 5th volume. I think there's one more volume in this series that I have ordered, but there's also some different art in the beginning that's like a flashback to 100 years previous or so, and that art looks like this. This isn't standard for the series. The first bit I showed you is, but I'm still curious if this is going to go a science-y route or not science-y route for the whole thing, because it seemed science-y the whole time, and I was curious to see how that was going to work out, but now there's like some question. So we'll see. There's one more volume, and I don't know, I'm wondering how they're going to wrap it up in one last volume, because I would think they would need at least 2. But I'm still really enjoying this series. I think the whole series has been either 4 to 5 stars. Would recommend, and I'm looking forward to getting the next one. Then I read Unholy Storm by Richard Castle. It's Castle TV show. The books the guy in the show writes. This is a graphic novel based on one of the books. I know that sounds complicated. I like the TV show fine. It's a good show. But I've only watched a little bit of it, and that's mostly because Nathan Fillion's in it, and I love Firefly. Like I said, it's a good show. It's just not something I'm like, I have to watch. But I really like these. This was the last one in this graphic novel series. I gave it 4 stars. And I really liked all of these. I like how each story is a story in and of itself, but this one does, on the last page, you can tell it's like the conclusion. I like how that ended and everything. I was kind of sad these were done, but I did notice that they have book versions of his books. Not only the Derek Storm ones, but the Nikki Heat or whatever the other ones are. And the Derek Storm ones, at least, the first one is in ebook, so I have that checked out on one of my library's apps. But I enjoyed this whole series. They were good, and I didn't show you the art, did I? Here's the art for this. So, if you like the TV show, I definitely recommend these, but in general, if you just like private investigator or CIA type mystery investigation type books or graphic novels, I would recommend these regardless of if you watch the show. And then the last one that I have for this wrap up, I just finished, and this is Lumberjanes Volume 9 On a Roll by Shannon Waters. I give this 4 stars. I don't know what it is about this series. I didn't think I'd like it in the first place. Ended up enjoying it. It's not amazing, but I can't stop reading it. Like, it's one of those graphic novels. I was in this big graphic novel kick a few months ago, if you guys weren't around for that. And I've been off of it for months, too. But there's just some graphic novels that I've been keeping reading because I've enjoyed them so much. And those previous 3 were some of them. And this is another one. Like, it's not amazing, but I can't stop reading it. And I'm not really sure why. But here's the art. It's really good. This one is getting more into, by the time we get to this one, which is volume 9, it's definitely getting more diverse. I'm sure you guys can look up more information on that, but I really like the series. So I'm caught up with these now. The next one, volume 10, comes out in December. So I thoroughly look forward to reading that. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I think I said I gave it 4 stars. So this whole series has been about 4 stars. I think 1 or 2 of them got 5. But yeah, that's everything I read this week. Hopefully I will have a better week next week. I do have 2 kind of DNFs. For me, a DNF is never permanent. I will always go back to it eventually. But I'm just not in the mood for these right now. And dude, seriously, I have over 50 things checked out from the library. I need to return some stuff. So I've got 2 things that I'm just going to temporarily DNF, and I'll finish them later. The first one is The Girls in the Picture by Melanie Benjamin. This was the book club pick for my local library. It's historical fiction. I was enjoying it. It's kind of what started me into the non-slump because I was trying to get it done by book club, which I did not do. I am quite literally 100 pages into it. I'm on chapter 5. I'm enjoying it. It's good. I'm just not in the mood for it right now. So, and since I didn't make it before book club, I'm just going to go ahead and return it. And then this other one is called Amish Vampires in Space by Carrie Neitz. And I got it because, I mean, come on, the title. But as I was reading the author, what was it? What'd they call it? The foreword. So the title was a satire type thing that this guy came up with, and came up with like this fake cover for it and everything. I was showing it to his friends, and it was just kind of a joke. And one of his friends was like, hey, can I write that? And he was like, okay, yeah, go for it. I just want to read it, whatever. And he's writing it like a regular book, not like a satire. So it's interesting. I'm enjoying it, but I'm on chapter 3. I'm like 27 pages in. I'm not in the mood. I'm not. And like I said, DNFs are not permanent for me. I will finish it eventually, but I'm not in the mood right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and send it back. So that's everything for this video. If you have any questions, comments, or opinions on any of these books, I would love to hear them down in the comments and discuss them with you. Go check out those review videos I talked about for the other ones. They do have spoilers, but it's a thing with me. I'm not good at reviewing or talking about books without talking about them, if that makes sense. And yeah, hopefully I'll get some more stuff done this week. I am getting through the TBR I made, but I keep adding more things to it, so we'll see. Hopefully I will at least get this stack done by the end of the month, but we'll see what happens. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!